So welcome everyone to the session on Yes, You Can Be a Freelancer, and I'm Puneet. So I will be taking the presentation today, and why I'm taking the presentation, why I feel I'm in a position to take this presentation. So this is a bit about me for those of you who already know me. So I have been a technical writer that probably all of you know. But apart from technical writing, I have done quite a bit in the world of freelancing. And when I started my career, so I also became part of the group where people did some kind of freelancing using whatever skills they have, apart from full-time job or contractual job, just for some extra bucks, they use this skill to do freelancing. So that was in the initial stage of my career where I worked as a translator and a content writer. So I know German language and of course my mother tongue Hindi and then English. So German to English, English to German, Hindi to English, Hindi to English to German. That kind of translation, transcriptions, all those opportunities which multilinguals can have, that I enjoyed. Then I started my career with companies where I wrote content. So first I worked with an English newspaper daily, probably the Asian Age, in case you have heard of. So there I used to write content, do reporting. After that, I wrote content for websites for different companies. And then at that point of time, that was like a good almost 20 years before, I realized that, okay, this freelancing is giving me good money, but then my job was not giving me good money. And like many others, I also thought at that point of time that, okay, freelancing should not be the career option. It's a good money making option, certainly. And so I moved to technical writing. And as a technical writer, after working for almost 17 plus years, like many of you, I also started as a junior. And by the time I decided that, okay, now I want to be my own boss, enough of serving others. So by that time, yes, I got the opportunity to lead some teams also. It's now 2 plus years where I'm completely working as a freelancer. And now when I say freelancer, it is different from the first part when I said translator plus content writing, where I was just using this skill as a part-time job just for earning few bucks. And at that point of time, whenever I used to see my credit card bill, then I used to realize, oh my God, this one has so much potential. Whatever I was getting as salary, just by doing a part-time freelancing work, I was earning much more. The credit card bill was running into lakhs or more, and all that was coming from freelancing. But still, I could not dare at that point of time to become a freelancer. And that's why I opted for a career. And yes, I have no regrets for that. Of course, the career in technical writing taught me a lot, and that's why right now I'm here. So this kind of career profile, probably many of you and many others in the industry do have, where it's always a constant struggle between a full-time job and uh, if you can call job, then a job as a freelancer. So, by the way, taking the discussion to you, and whenever I think of freelancing versus what to say, full-time job, I remember of two examples which I have heard right from my childhood. One about sports. Can anyone of you, tell what did you think? What did you hear about sports? If somebody wanted to become a sports person, what was told to them before?
Okay, sports has no opportunity.
Exactly. And in Hindi, that favorite thing is there, in case some of you know Hindi, that uh, पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे नवाब खेलोगे कूदोगे बनोगे खराब. In English, it is like if you focus on education, which of course gives you a job, the expectation was that it gives you a job, not a freelancing job. Then you become a successful person. But if you focus on sports, then you are spoiling your life because you will never get a good earning. Of course, nowadays when we see so many sports academy and different other facilities in India, probably the notion, I hope, has changed for many. Second example from our personal lives, arranged marriage versus love marriage. What's the notion war? What was the notion before?
Arranged marriage.
Arranged marriage work.
Yeah.
Arranged marriage work, love marriage don't. Of course, now after seeing the world around us full of couples who are into love marriage, uh, we realize that technically it's no different. Success or failure doesn't it's not defined by arranged or love. It's always defined by how that couple works together. Okay, so there is no ratio. All that ratio that 99% of love marriages fail and 99% of arranged marriages are success. All those were just in the mind. There was no data. Same with the sports. Now we see so many sports person. I'm a big sports freak, so I'm sharing this. Uh, like we in India talk about just cricket and all, but a day before yesterday or maybe a week before, I read a news about Anirban Lahiri, a golf player. Okay, this fellow won a tournament which gave him 2.13 billions, sorry, millions in just one tournament. That much of amount, even in a sports arena, not a cricketer, not any sports person in India ever earned just in one tournament. Now, if in case you are a bit worried that where is Puneet heading to? Okay. This is about, the session is about freelancing, but for me, the session is more about our mindset. Why are we here? Because most of you want to explore what freelancing is, how it is going to benefit, up to how much level can you take it? Will it be a good option for you, or will it be a risk for your career if you decide to quit full-time job and work as freelancer? So I would say for me, and that was, as I said, long back, although my huge credit card bills were paid by not my salary, but my freelancing work, is still I could not dare at that time. I was newly married. Of course, there was going to be a family, there were responsibilities. I could not dare to be a full-time freelancer. And so I think it's more about mindset. And now in today's world, of course, the world from 2002 has moved, 2000 has moved on a lot in 2022. And I will have some data also, the latest data, the global data, the Indian data, which may probably make you feel more confident. So here is some history. This is what people used to think. This is what I also used to think. And the last line was, there were very few who thought that it could be a career option long back, or if it, even if I say probably even now, this exists for many, that it cannot be a career option. There is another hitch to it, that many people think as a freelancer, technically you work, you earn a lot of money, but when you, if you are basically uh, more of a person who likes designations, then of course you don't get designations. Today, I am a junior technical writer. 5 years down the lane, I will be a senior, then principal, whatever. Then get into resource management. I become a manager. I became a director. For example, when I became a director, got the designation of a director for a technical documentation team. Many people, my friend circle, they said, "Oh my God, director in a technical documentation team, that's a big thing," because that was rarely heard of. Generally, it was manager and all. Right now, even vice president of content or technical documentation, that's very less heard of. Very few companies have. So people who have fascinations for designations, of course, freelancing is not for them. But if you have the passion, of course, for making money, but learning also, then freelancing is for you. So this is the history and what's going on right now in freelancing, basically, if we say. I'm sure you must be aware about news, and I'm sure you must be aware about people who are around us, around you. There are educated people, of course, there. People need to be educated, but here educated means highly educated people. They are getting into freelancing. And now, from now onwards, when I use the term freelancing, I simply mean freelancing as a full-time career option. I don't mean just, part-time job. Okay, so from here on. Second, they plan it in a way, considering the market is giving so many options now, that it becomes a good financial option for their career. How the market is giving that kind of environment, how that kind of support, what has changed, we will see soon, and hopefully it's in addition to what you already know. Otherwise, yeah, I want to make this an interactive session, because of course what I'm going to tell, probably it's no innovation here. I'm going to repeat many things, and from my experience, how I evolved, certainly I would like to share that, in case you are on the same boat, which I was probably a few years before, maybe that will help you make some decision. So this is how today, I'm not sure about technical writing, but in content writing, even if you go to LinkedIn, Twitter, you see so many young people. They are marked as influencers. Most of them are content writers. Young people, I have interacted with people like 16-year-old girl, 18-year-old boy, forget about 20s. Right now, when I go to LinkedIn, maybe it's due to my network because I look for such people, I see the world is full of such people. And I ask them, do you want to move to career, making some good bucks, maybe 10 lakhs, 1 crore, you have some kind of dream, and then you want to start a job? They say, no. We started this because we never thought about job. Yes, it's a bit of risk. Initially, there are too many challenges. But now when we are well set, we can define our future. And the money that we are earning is for my future planning, where I want to become something. I want to have my own brand, and I want to build my own company. So this money is going to help me. Plus, this money is going to get me the clients also who can help me in my future entrepreneur. So that's the mindset these young people are having. And of course, people like us who are experienced, who have seen the world, who have gathered so much knowledge from working here and there. If we want to have that mindset, I think probably that's not a bad thing to have. Initially, of course, like I said, for sports, love marriages, full-time job versus freelancing, it's always a big challenge to think, can I do it? Will I be able to support myself? Or will I, after trying for 6 months or 1 year, I will have to again go back to the job market? Will I be able to support whomsoever I'm responsible for? And will I be able to achieve my dreams? Whatever be the dream, somebody's dream can be buying a car, buying a house, whatever. So today's reality is much different. And let's see a bit more on what's today's reality. These are some of the reports which are kind of latest, especially during COVID era, where we realized even by the standards of International Labor Organization, which generally keeps a tab on what is the situation of labor across the globe. International Labor Organization, after 3 months of COVID-19, so March 2019, it started in India, and so probably by June 2019, apart from the world suffering from it. So based on all that, International Labor Organization that time placed the data that the job loss is enormous, which was, of course, not a revelation. All of us knew, considering the COVID-19 situation. Initial 3 months to 6 months were very scary. Nobody knew where are we heading to, which companies will survive, will I hold on to my job or not? All kind of factors were basically troubling us. Now, the same ILO, although it said that there was big problem with jobs, probably the opposite thing it brought out. 46% increase in the freelancing options globally. 46%. I hope you understand it is not less. This is global. And why should we be happy about global development? Second point, India is the second fastest growing market for freelancing. Any guess which country is the first one? It's a very basic guess.
US only.
US.
US. Yeah.
US.
Yeah. Because USA leads this kind of mindset. Of course, USA leads, and being most of us being technical writers, we know that how USA has impacted positively, at least for technical writing. So USA leads the world, but the silver lining for us is India. In India, 15 million freelancers. This is the data of January. By 25, this is just the expectation it can cross. The way I see today, the freelancing opportunities, and then more than that, people interested in freelancing. They come on, ask different kind of questions. The basic question is, can I opt freelancing as a full-time option? So this is one kind of data. Hope it sounds positive. Overall, this is not about writing only. India stands at 23rd position. But the second point where we can take some positives here. When the question is, as a freelancer, who could be your potential clients? Startups, and we are aware from the IT industry itself or in general industry, there are so many startups picking up. Even in India, if you go to the data of Indian government also, you will see that there are a lot of startups and many of them are no more dealing into just 2 lakhs or 5 lakhs. Many of them have become unicorn. If in case you have seen Startup India serials and all or other data you have followed, you may come to see almost every month we see one new unicorn coming, big company coming, those startups turning into big company. And these days, startups, even if they have smaller, they have a good potential. Now, this is one particular set. If I call a startup company as clients as a whole set, this is one particular set where the big opportunity lies for us. We will discuss where all our clients are present and where can we find them. But in general, around you also, in your discussions also, you will realize, and even in terms of salary, I have heard and experienced too, startups are ready to pay as a full-time employee also, are ready to pay you a bigger fat salary than what corporates or general companies pay. Same applies to freelancing. Now, why is it that startups prefer freelancer? First of all, they don't have huge budget. So they have their own preferences that on which they want to invest on a long term, on which they want to invest on a short term. So as a result, they prefer freelancers, and especially for writing, they prefer contractual associations where they have whatever their product or services are, they have that, they come to you saying that, okay, we have this product ready. Remember that there is no DDLC here because they come to you saying, we have our products ready. Now we are all set to go to market. But to go to market, what do we need? Documents, because the clients will, their clients will ask for uh, documents. So they have a deadline when they want to launch, and then at that point of time, they come to places where freelancers are present, or else if they have their own network within their or within their network, they will ask people, do you know writers who can write content for our product in a very short time? And in that short time, what payment they give, all that is discussed. So this is their problem also, and that's how they work right now. Okay. Now, for them, freelancers become cost effective because if they hire somebody like generally the organizations hire, then they have to pay first of all salary for many months, years, and whatever. Plus, with salary, they have to pay different other things like insurance, PF, many more things are there, right? But if they associate with you as a freelancer, they are just paying you the exact amount you agreed upon. That's all. PF, health insurance, whatever extra, that's not there. Plus, there is a set timeline, and in that timeline, they get their work, you get your money, they go launch their product. Tomorrow, their clientele increases, and if they are happy with you, you have maintained a good relation, they have more requirements, they come back to you. So that is from your perspective, building relationships wherever you're working. And freelancers are easy to find. Now, isn't it strange, at least from Indian perspective, at one side we were talking about the mindset where freelance people don't like to work as a freelancer, but at the other side, they are easy to find. The reason being, there are many who work as a freelancer, as a part-time freelancer, especially in COVID era. It has got a big boost, especially with people who are working somewhere and still doing freelancing. Can anybody help me understand the reason when I say, especially in COVID era, people who are working as a full-time employee somewhere, but still they go ahead with the part-time freelancing job? How is that possible? How has COVID helped?
The travel time, Puneet, like we get more time at home.
Yeah. So we use that for freelancing activity. Nice. And of course, the second thing about travel time is we are not going to office. Our offices have remote options. So yes, technically we are responsible for our project deliverables, but even at office now we are enjoying flexible hours. At least in there could be some exceptions, but yeah, 9 to 5 or whatever be your office hours nowadays with this remote option. Like when I was also working, yes, I could do my household chores, go to market, do something. And if I have a deliverable, I will extend my work time to evening. I was able to go to hospitals, I mean, whatever important things I had to do. So in the same way, I can go and visit clients also if I want to meet them. I can go and visit clients also. The office where I'm working, nobody asks me a question as long as I'm providing the deliverables and whatever I am responsible for at office. So people are doing that also. Okay. So this is why this COVID, although it started as a big devastation, it has turned into a big boon for freelancers, especially those who want to keep their job also and then work hard to spend more hours and earn that extra bucks. That is not a bad idea actually. Okay, now from company's perspective. So this is one startup. So now if you want to be freelancer and at least whichever way you want to go, whichever way means either as a person who keeps the job and does part-time freelancer, that's option one, or else you want to become a full-time freelancer. Whichever option you want to use for yourself, you can certainly look forward to startups. They are a very good bait. From startups perspective, we said they are cash crunched. But from freelancers perspective, they pay you good money because they just have to pay you for a project. They don't have to pay you a salary for years and years. So they pay you good money. So always have a lookout basically for startups. And this finding startups, for that you don't have to always go to website. You are already working, you have data on the web available, you can see their requirements, you can apply directly, or else if you have your own contacts, you can reach out to them that okay, I can provide. Generally, I mean, of course, you all know that. So this is a very silly slide, but I just thought in case somebody asks, so what are freelancers? What gives you? Freelancers, technically, by government name, they are self-employed individuals. And this self-employed term will come in the end also, because even remember, if when you are working as a freelancer, nobody is giving you PF, nobody is giving you other things. They are just giving you whatever you have agreed upon for the work. At the same time, they are not paying your taxes. So you will have to pay your tax. This is where when you go to government's IT details and all, there will be a separate section for self-employed individuals and self-employed individuals and businesses. There you will have to dig in that what does self-employed individual mean as per government, because you need to calculate your own taxes. Okay. Now the beneficial part is for all those people who are always very pissed off on others making decision for them and just thrusting it on them and saying, hey, do this work even if you don't agree. So now you make your own decisions. And I find this as the best part, although it's a bit scary also. It's you who decide how much success you are going to achieve or whether you can be a failure. Because it's not like freelancing. Freelancing is a field where everybody comes and success just awaits them. You need to do something. It's the same kind like job also. Like during all this session, the one thing that I will keep comparing is freelancing versus job. I don't find freelancing world, at least in today's era, any bit different from jobs. So that's why I talked about arranged marriage and love marriage. Risk is same, success is same, happiness is same. It all depends upon those two individuals who marry by whatever means. In this work also, whether it's freelancing or job, it completely depends on both individuals, the individual and the clients. So you decide. So there is no difference now in today's world. Okay, let's get into some nitty-gritties. The key skills, yes, in this key skill, you will not find the key skills for a writer, because I'm sure you already know that whether you want to be a content writer, whether you want to be a technical writer, what should be your core key skills. So we are not talking about that. We are talking here about the key skills to succeed as a freelancer. Yes, you are good at whatever you are doing. That is fine. But then how do you first deliver properly? How do you keep the clients happy? How do you don't land into troubles? So you need to have certain things which look very easy, but remember, as an individual, you are working. So at times it becomes very challenging. And people falling in these actually fail. So first of all, you need to have a very good planning. Here, there is nobody to plan for you. So you will have to plan your whole life cycle, not only of a project, but as a freelancer, you are deciding as a freelancer whether you are working as a full-time freelancer or a part-time freelancer. How much time are you going to dedicate? Weekdays, weekends, how you are going to work and achieve that. So that planning part has to be intact and you must have the discipline to follow it. You can't say that, okay, client's deliverable was today 10 p.m. Now, today is Sunday. Let's imagine that today is a weekday. You have agreed upon a client delivery of deliverable for Tuesday. Okay, now whether you have, if you are a a person working on job also and as a freelancer also, if there is a release, if there is an important town hall or something, that's not client's fault. So you will have to be disciplined enough to follow what you planned and the commitment that you have made. This commitment is not like the Salman Khan's movie Commitment. Yes, that is very valid. When you have made a commitment, you cannot break it. Remember, if you break it thinking, oh, this was just a small client where I was just getting 5,000 rupees. Okay, fair enough. Yes, clients' work or something that gets disturbed if they had a plan for it for a product launch and they were waiting for you. But it creates a very, very wrong attitude in you. And now, working in organizations, these days, even for technical writers, people are hiring less on skills, more on attitude. So, as a freelancer, you need to have that. That okay, the dedication you must have, and the commitment that you have made, it's completely on you. Yes, it gives you the freedom that whether you want to work late night, whether you want to work during daytime, it's your freedom. But you are not free to delay the delivery. You delay it for one, saying, oh, this was less money. Fine, if this was less money, you shouldn't have taken it. Okay. So less money and more money doesn't matter once you have decided to take a project, the timeline and everything. So because this is going to impact, this brings some negative comment on you. If you are on social media platforms where you have got connected with that client, the client will make sure to write a good comment about you, mentioning this person is not trustworthy. And I'm sure you all also know the value of reviews, the value of testimonials. I'm not sure about all of you, but even like if I have to buy a product, for example, a mobile, if I have to buy, and if I go to Flipkart or Amazon, wherever, I make sure I see the reviews because that particular mobile, I'm not aware about that. I go back, first go, I see the features, and then I go to review. And in case, even if there are 500 reviews, out of that 500, if I see just 5 reviews mentioning this product doesn't work, this looks really great, but this product doesn't work, at least I am the kind of person I'm not going to buy it, even if 400 persons are saying, as long as those 5 comments appear trustworthy. So reviews matter a lot, negative comments matter a lot. So this is where you decide how effective you want to be. And for all this thing, you always maintain a good communication. Yes, for some reason, you might get delayed. That reason may be authentic. Suddenly, somebody in the family has been detected with COVID. They are in hospital. You can't help it. You don't have time to breathe. Forget about completing the delivery schedule. You have mobile in case you are not able to access laptop. Communicate to the client that, hey, this is the reason. Communication is the key. That gives client also the freedom. First of all, they will be really happy that you have communicated in advance, even if it is you are communicating about delays, which they will not like, but still they will be happy that you have communicated. Now it's their call. They will come back and say, hey, don't worry, we can give you a few more days. Or else they will say, hey, we are sorry about this, to hear that, but we had our product delivery, so for this one I will be giving it to somebody else, but we will make sure, let us know when you are back, we will give you some other project. That is called building relationship. And where building relationship is important everywhere, but all these points, they matter at job also, full-time job also. But as an individual, when you're working as a freelancer, these are the skills that matter the most. Please remember that, and please always make sure. Don't value your projects based on how much money you are getting. Even if you are getting 100 rupees for something, if you have accepted it, please show complete dedication to it. Even if you are getting 1 lakh for a project. So that money should not be the factor which makes you take this decision. So please note, as a freelancer, you must have this. Because companies will come and write reviews for, and if you're doing a great job, they will write testimonials for you. You can also write testimonials for them. And in case if some company is providing you a bad work environment, so unlike a manager who is mistreating you, or unlike a company who is not giving you a basic rights, where what do? We simply bow our head, quit the company without saying anything. We don't even go to Glassdoor to write a review thinking, what will others think? Here you don't have that kind of issue. You can also go and write bad reviews for them. That impacts them too. So here, the playing field is equal for both. So the more you follow these 5 things, trust me, nobody can stop your growth. Let's have a more of some survey report to see how is freelancing growing. And when we say freelancing growing, we see why is it helping, or how is it helping Indians? And more so, we talk so much about the challenges of life, the challenges of daily life, particularly for women, and they have the mandatory thing. Basically, when they get pregnant and they have to take the leave, it's not that they want it, but they will have to take that leave. And after that, we see that there is career gap and all. Freelancing is one good world. It doesn't ask you about all this. The day you want to start, and in this data, you will see how is it helping women also more. So this is another data which is by a company which is globally very much respected. I have just picked it from their page. Okay, this is not my data. So you can read it that Indian freelancers are growing. They are not now being recognized. Before I move to the next slide, can I get a view from all of you on this point? When it says Indian freelancers were able to outshine their global peers, what is the reason? What do you think is the reason? Any imaginary reason will also do. What could be the reason?
Lalita here, Punit. There are more opportunities in India that allows the technical writers to move from one place to another, because of which they gain more knowledge in various industries, say from telecom to semiconductor, healthcare, banking. There are so many options available for Indians, basically because of the population size and opportunities here.
Wonderful. But just to add to that point, Lalita, now when we are talking about freelancing world, it's all coming, what do I say, remote, right?
Yeah.
Even Indians are taking the jobs which are there in Europe, US. Even foreigners are taking the jobs which are in India because nobody has to visit offices, isn't it?
Yeah, but they have the experience of having worked in many companies like this. in different industries. That is what I actually wanted to mean.
Yes, that point is very valid. Experience. Thank you. Any other point anybody can think of? Okay. In case somebody is thinking that anybody wants to say something?
Puneet, hi, this is Amrita. I think Indians are more willing to put in longer hours for each project they take in, given the background that we have of, putting in more hours for longer late night calls and stuff. But so I think the main difference between, a US writer and probably an Indian writer would be, I mean, US is just an example I'm seeing, would be that they are, more, what should I say, kind of
Constraint.
sticking to timelines, right? Whereas we can go beyond the regular hours and put in more extra, number of hours to get more projects probably.
We say we will be available in US time zone also for freelancing.
Correct.
Okay. Any other pointers?
Hi, Ranjana here.
Yes,
Yeah, just wanted to say that probably the cost also matters. Maybe what we are quoting is not, it's competitive.
very nice point, and this I was waiting for this point. Okay, so yes, thank you. So all these points, cost, then comes the first point what Lalita said, experience, and what Amrita said, the availability. So Indians are available anytime. At least those who want to, build their career in this, they are available anytime. So they have the flexibility. But the most important part here is when we say outshine. This all the cost was less before also, but now Indians are outshining this. Why are they doing this? I will come to this point, and because fine, we will quote less, but somebody has to accept us as a freelancer, right? They will have to accept it because many persons are bidding for the project. It's not only we. So let's see what other point is there. So in some of the sectors, if you want to see about Indian freelancing market, of course, you will not see the name of writing here. Okay. But the rate that you are seeing, hourly rate of $71. Okay. A global average was 41, and some of the Indians were now. Here comes the answer. It's not about less hourly rate. It's about, which is very rare, it's about the skills being appreciated. The Indian skill is getting appreciated now. Nobody will pay you more if there are others, at least from their country or foreign countries, available. They will pay you more only when your skills are getting appreciated, because for the same thing there might be other bidders also. So this is a very interesting thing. And interesting thing, of course, like Lalita mentioned about experience. So with these experiences comes our skill set. And that skill set, when we go to the market and when they see the profile, oh my God, you have 10 years of experience in this domain, that domain. As a writer also, you have not written content for only for one domain. You are writing for travel, you are writing for healthcare. Then as a technical writer, you don't have experience only in telecom, you have experience in networking. You are not only writing user guides, you have written API documentation also, you have written release notes also. So the variety is so much. So those writers who have gained these skills not only on paper, remember in freelancing world, we cannot bluff. That's one harsh fact. When we are working at organizations, probably if not only probably, everywhere you will find a reviewer, you will find the SME, you may find an editor, you will have the style guides defined, different things. Basically, you get everything on the platter. All you need to do is sit and do a proper job of a technical writer. But in freelancing world, you're not getting anything. Very rare scenarios are there where you will be getting something. All these things you will have to plan and you will have to deliver. So in that scenario, if clients are getting happy, that means your skills are really good. So this big payment and outshining others, it's not about just being quoting less, but it's about the skills which is getting appreciated. And this has not only surprised Indians, it has surprised the world also. Okay, because earlier when we talk about India leading the globe, the IT world, Bangalore is the Silicon Valley, but how many startups did you see coming from there? All the startups and big companies came from the actual Silicon Valley, not the Bangalore Silicon Valley. Nowadays, you see many startups coming. Earlier, we were, even if we talk about IT and all, we were famous for BPOs. What did you do in BPOs? What creativity did you do? This is not to demean BPOs, but actually, did you build some product? Yes, you became an expert in speaking English in a way as if they are natives, although the natives could differentiate, but still, yes, work was there. I'm not saying work challenges were not there, but actually, what did you do to grow, to be respected as a skilled person? Services you are providing. So this is where now the big trend which is coming up, and this is where the big change, a big thing which is coming up for freelancers also. If you are skilled enough, go. The market is waiting for you. If you are not skilled enough, don't worry. Get skilled and then get into the freelancing market. Maybe you can make a start with whatever skill you have. Like I have a list. Probably you can pick with what you can start, and then at the meantime get more skilled. Some more survey that overall this is about increase in demand for Indians, increase in their salary part, not the salary part, the hourly part. So overall, in general, the agreement is there is a good growth, not only about freelancing in the world, but for Indian freelancers. So I hope these data at least convince you that, okay, we Indians are having a good time and it's for us now how much we can get benefited from us, from all this situation. Coming back basically from these data only, impact of COVID. Technically, if we say now, COVID has been a boon for freelancing world. For remote working also, it has been a boon. For uh, freelancing world also, it has become a boon. Even like in India, there are so many companies like it was mentioned here in the comment that India has more opportunity. So those Indians also, basically earlier they used to ask you, no, you come to office, even if you're a freelancer, you come to office, see the demo and do different things. Now, due to COVID, the same companies are ready to deal with you like the way they would have dealt with any outstation candidate or international candidate. So everything is online. You're sitting home, but being disciplined, working, and making good money. So rates generally don't decrease if you're doing a good job. Yes, projects vary. Based on that, the rate vary. Coming to the women part, you see that they, as a part, due to these challenges where women had big breaks in career, even if they were working before, and this opportunity, the freelancing revolution has helped them a lot. Data supports that. And I am sure those of you who might feel that, okay, there is data of all kind, just talk to people around you and you will come to know that there are so many freelancers and among that, there are so many women who have got benefited from it. And of course, got benefited. Nobody has served them on a platter. They have worked really hard for it. Okay. Flexible work hours overall, this has helped. the women also, and in fact the men also, everybody. So it's all, you are basically the boss. So these were the data, and enough of data. Now let's move on. In this whole session, I'm not going to talk about what is technical writing or what is content writing. Okay, the core part from a freelancer's perspective. Yes, if you have questions, you can go ahead and ask. So if you want to be a successful freelancer, what is the basic homework you do? Some of these are from the market, some of these are from my personal experience, what I have done. First, yes, you may be knowing a lot of things, but be specific about the core areas. Don't make people feel who come to see your profiles, don't make them feel that you have so many things in your list. Since they haven't spoken to you, they might fail. It's like, what is that phrase which ends with master of none? Something like that. I'm forgetting that. Okay.
Jack of
So,
all
Jack of
trades
trade,
and
master
right.
jack of all arts.
Jack of all trades, but master of none. In freelancing world, people don't want that. So yes, if you know a lot of things, I'm not saying hide it, but find a way to balance it where you specify which core things you want to take first. Other things you can mention. I can help with that. Create a portfolio. The better your portfolio is, the better opportunities you get. Because remember, again, when we are talking about this freelancing and remote, you don't actually get a chance to be interviewed at the first sight. The first thing is your whatever profile you have mentioned, your resume that you have prepared there. So that resume, first thing people say, and in case you are able to provide a portfolio right there, they go to see that portfolio first, they get impressed, and in case they don't get impressed, that doesn't mean your profile is bad. Probably they were not looking for that kind of skill set. Somebody might be looking for it. So create a portfolio. Now, creating a portfolio has multiple options. And in case you need help, we can talk about it. Then be where the clients are. Where are they? On the social media platforms, on the websites which are dedicated to freelancers. So wherever those platforms are, join that, and not only join that and wait for somebody to send you an invitation. Be active. Dedicate some time. Initially, it's a bit challenging to get the first job, but then you will get. And once you get it, after that, there could be no stopping as long as you're following the 5 core skills that we discussed, planning and all. Okay. Last but not the least, but self. Make yourself a brand. Make yourself a brand in a way where people talk about one particular specialization and they remember your name. The websites help you achieve that also. Okay. So these are some of the key basic things that you can do. Of course, there is much more, but at least try to do this. Portfolio, making yourself a brand, being present at the platform, and having the right kind of resume. A bit more about that. We will come now. Popular options to get leads. In case you are not aware, there is a difference between the terms leads and clients. Leads are those whom you connect with. They are not your clients because you haven't got a project with them. The moment you get a project, work on a project with them, those leads become your clients. Okay. So now where all you can go, websites. There are many online websites for freelancing, and unlike probably 5 years before, they are much more organized. They care for your privacy, they care for your money. They make sure that if you're working, they act as a mediator and they take some charge commission for it. But that's, I think, not bad, considering that at least it is assured that first of all you know how much money you are getting. Secondly, they make sure that you get the money. Okay, so there are many. Upwork is one of them, very addressed in writing part and other parts also. Upwork, Fiverr has been very popular. There is website. There are another website. There are many other websites actually. There is freelancer.com, which has been existing for a long time. Then there are many more, and So even if you just Google the freelancing websites, you will find a lot more. So don't go and basically become member of all of those, although it won't harm. But try to see which platforms help your skills more. The why I say don't become a member of all these is because for you, probably following up will be difficult. For example, long ago, when LinkedIn was not so active, my profile was there at Naukri, Monster, Job Street. I don't know what else were existing there. Times Jobs, whatever came, not only me, probably many of us just uploaded their resume everywhere. But at times when the people will contact, and in case you're not getting an email notification, because at that time the applications were having a lot of bugs, every day you're not going to check it. Probably you're going to check it after 15 days. By that time, that request has expired. That again leaves a bad impression. So this is why, learning from that, I'm saying be only at those platforms or those many platforms where you can manage effectively, and if not daily, at least within 40. Although in freelancing work it's not about daily, also it's about every minute counts, because somebody is not contacting you only, they are contacting 10 different persons. Whoever responds faster, whoever gets better gives better deal, they get the job. So by the time you realize after 24 hours that, oh, I got a notification, I have to respond, by the time it may be a possibility that the bid has already closed. LinkedIn, LinkedIn has come up apart from other things. I'm sure you must have also got a notification. LinkedIn has come up with a very good service page where you can create your own service page, even if you are an individual. Yes, if you're working in some company as a full-time one, I would not recommend you to do that. I'm not sure about the policies of different companies, but in many companies, the moment it becomes that becomes clear that officially you are doing all this, it's not taken in a very good sense. But otherwise, if you feel that okay, this is fine, use the service page. How is it helping? It has the meta tags. So as a result, anywhere, any person in the globe is looking for freelancers or services for the skills that you have hashtagged, your name will also appear. So that way it helps. It's not only you who will search for the clients. Clients can also search for you on LinkedIn now. But if it's your just average general LinkedIn profile, it might not work the same way. Okay. Then there are different other job sites. Freelancing websites, the first one is different. Those are completely dedicated to freelancing. Other websites, when I say Naukri.com, Monster.com, and other, because if you have been ever a member of that, you will notice on that also freelancing opportunities are posted, contractual opportunities. So actually, be everywhere wherever you see the opportunity. Okay. In case anybody has any question, please feel free to raise hand and I will take that right away. Okay. To connect with leads, resume is not the only thing. Cover letter is one of the most important things. Even when we are applying for general jobs also, it is recommended that don't just send the resume. Try to write at least a small paragraph. That is what is called cover letter. So cover letter is very important. Resume, of course, is important. I don't need to mention how and why. So when you are applying for a freelancing profile, tweak your resume to suit that. Cover letter. Make sure if you are contacting 5 leads, don't send a common cover letter. It's the same for job also. There is no difference. So here I'm not going to give any extra knowledge to you. It's the same formula. If you are applying to 5 different companies, if you are writing a cover letter, make sure your cover letter matches their requirement. In the same way for bidding also. And why cover letter becomes more important, at least for writers as a freelancer, that is the first thing which they can consider as your writing sample. Why? The way you write, whether it convinces them. yes, you have a good chance to go to the next level. Okay. So connecting with leads. Now freelancing options for writers. Writers, I could think of things. Yes, I thought of instructional designers and all also, but okay, I haven't included it here. Primarily, it's content writers versus not versus content writers and technical writers. Out of the mix has come another breed, which is called technical content writing. Okay, so we have technical content writers also. Let's see, as a content writer, what does the market do for you? Again, some data here. Content writers are the biggest one in demand. There is a one data, I'm not sure which I have included here, where they said in the next 10 years, which jobs will be more popular for freelancing. Content writing comes at the third place. I'm sorry, but technical writing doesn't come, but there is nothing to be wary about that. Okay. But content writing comes at place number 3. And when we say content writing, it includes technical content writing also, where technical writers can find their usefulness if they are technically good. Okay. So the first was digital marketing, then second was, I guess, developers, and then the third was content writing. I was amazed to see that content writing. Yes, I also know, you also know, we have seen this word many times, content rules. But when we see our packages at packages at offices, I don't think content rules, isn't it? Or do you think we get better packages than others at offices?
No, what you said is right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, content is king is only good for posters. So technically, so but anyway, so this content writing, it's basically a huge demand. And why there is huge demand? Because content is king. Okay, now in a positive way, everybody needs a website today. Everybody needs some kind of content because if they are going to sell that product, then they need to provide any kind of content. Now, content can be of any type. I don't need to define here. Okay, so this is where content writers are much in demand, and despite having so many content writers, it's still very difficult to find good content writers. And those who are good content writers, for them, you will see YouTube videos, how this person become a billionaire or millionaire in 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. And those are reality, trust me, those are not bogus or just a spam things. Even I know a few who have done that. Okay, so a good content writer. And when I say I know a few, I'm talking about Indians also. So don't think that only I'm talking about foreigners. So there is a huge scope for Indians. There is no doubt about it. Earning potential, if you see average hourly pay in terms of rupee, this is again part of the pay scale report. It was 487. This is average. So if you think about if you're working 487, let's change it to 500 if you don't mind, or if you want, you can change it to 400 also. So for 8 hours you are working, you are getting 3,200 at the rate of 400. 3,200, just see in your salary, are you getting 3,200 daily? Okay, so you will have the maths very clear. I'm not sure on what basis this monthly was calculated, but yes, monthly, if the minimum is this much, fair enough. I mean, I have heard about some technical writing job, which I always think technical writers get better paid even as fresher than content writers. I mean, that's my notion. Okay, I may be wrong. I was surprised to see that in today's world, some companies are offering technical writers, fresher, a job saying 2 lakhs. What is 2 lakhs today? 2 lakhs annual, not monthly, okay? And they were offering jobs. I don't know whether to call it exploitation or not, but whatever, I was shocked. So probably to that category, it matches, the minimum salary matches. But yes, when you see the hourly pay rate, based on what you can go into, you can of course earn a lot. In general, apart from the way how to write, few things which may apply basically to any kind of writer. The whatever subject you take, for freelancing or decide, you must have a good understanding of the subject, or you can call good understanding of the domain. In content writing or in especially in content writing, where somebody will ask you to write about something, they want 50 articles on travel. They will have their guidelines defined. I don't think we will have time for a separate, exercise here. But I'll just give you an example. Recently, like from Tech Writers Tribe, we have this content writing. We got a project from a big client, and then we have around 15 freelancers working on that. That client has specifically mentioned that for travel, take the data only from goibb.com. Now, why they have said that's none of my business? They have said that. The freelancers who are supposedly charging good amount, experienced freelancers, somebody has copy pasted data from Make My Trip, somebody has gone ahead and taken data from Clear Trip. This clearly shows you are not reading the instructions properly. And what has client done? They have rejected it. And they have rejected it saying, when you can simply not follow the one simple instruction, why should we waste time in reviewing your document and paying you? So it's very important, whatever piece of rules, whether it can be 2 rules or 200 pages of rules, you must adhere to it. Okay. As a writer, of course, storytelling ability, unless your paragraphs and whatever you're telling, they bind the person, nobody is going to stick to it. Okay, so good writing skill, storytelling ability, writing style, and apart from whatever you're doing, presentation of the content should be in a way where it improves readability. Readability score matters a lot in the field of content writing or technical writing, because all these pieces go as blocks. Okay, so presentation of the content matters a lot, and I'm sure at least technical writers who always talk about structured documentation will relate to it. And apart from all these skills, many things, many projects you will get where you will need to use their platform. So you should have that adaptability to use their content platforms, and you should not have some handicap that, okay, how will I use that? So people don't prefer teaching a lot. Okay. Now coming to technical writers part. First of all, again, some data just to give you a boost. Like day before yesterday, I was having talks with 2 managers, and they were like, people are saying that technical writing is going to die. I said, don't start the talk that I had heard from 10 years before. People said technical writers are going to die. Technical writing profession is going to die. And nowadays, you see, there are so many options. Who says that technical writing is going to die? It's in fact booming like anything. So here you see the data, which is from US Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, so technical writers are obviously here to stay, but yes, probably not in the same form that they were 10 years before, but still they are doing technical writing. Okay, so there is more data about money also. Technical writers get better paid than content writers because they write technical content. Okay, so whenever you are on some platform, make sure that at least you follow the basics. Yes, one suggestion always I have, if you are starting first time, keep your rates low. Don't just go that, okay, here it is saying that $30 per hour is the norm. You just quote $30 per hour. No, go ahead, quote less so that you get few projects and testimonials. Get a few projects, get a few testimonials, then use your skills, basically charge whatever you want, not only $30 per hour. Based on the kind of complexity of project, go ahead and charge $50 per hour, $70 per hour. There are projects where you get $75, even $100 for API documentation and all. Okay, so the world is big. Start slow, then move fast. Okay, so earnings, I hope this earning basically motivates you much more, because ultimately everything comes down to earning, isn't it? So as a freelancer, how do you basically switch and decide what is your rate? So it completely depends on a lot of things. It always doesn't depend on your skill. if, for example, you are having for software documentation, we know that technical writers exist in aerospace domain and many other domains also. But they also have their specialized skills. But isn't it a fact that technical writers in software domain get better paid? Why? There is no why. It's just about industry. That's the way industry is. So your freelancing offers can also depend on industry, level of expertise, content type, and then your level of knowledge. Level of knowledge these days, even when I say job description, see job descriptions, then I'm surprised. People seek full-time employees, 1 year experience, 2 year experience, 3 years experience, and when you see the JD, it looks like they want somebody who has 15 years experience. So yes, that's kind of shocking for a full-time employee, but in freelancing, it's a big boon. The more experience your profile shows, the better your rate goes, because the client feels that, first of all, they feel confident that with so much experience, you will be able to plan. Because you remember one of the slides where I said there is no style guide, there is nothing. Client has nothing, they just have the product for you. And they will say, give us document, you plan the document. They will probably say, we need a developer guide, we need a deployment guide. But actually what they meant was user guide, because they don't even know what kind of guide they need. So this is where your experience comes. You see their product, you see their customer, you see their domain, and then you decide, you make the complete plan, of course, style guide and everything. You will have to make the plan. This is where your levels of knowledge comes. I'm sorry, this is going to be delayed by 5 to 10 minutes, okay? So then try to specialize in niche areas. When we talk about technical writing, can you help me understand what are the niche areas you think? In current, going by the current trend, general technical writing versus niche areas.
I think AI could be one area which we really need to focus on.
Okay.
That's really coming up now. And API is definitely, given the current scenario, API is definitely one.
Certainly. What else?
API technical writing.
Yeah. Any other? That's all? Niche areas?
I think UX is also, coming up in a big way. So UX writing is assuming significant importance in the technical writing sphere.
Yeah, but again, when people know they need UX writer, they advertise for UX writer. They don't advertise for technical writer.
Yes, yes. I mean, currently there is a kind of an overlap, but then probably going forward, there will be, specific domains. Yeah.
Okay. Any other niche area anybody can define?
Data writers.
Data writers. Okay. Then if we go by the trends, fine. Markdown, you might have heard, at least if you're in the TWT group, you must have heard Markdown 2000 times by now. But Markdown is still not so popular in terms of skill, I'm saying. Okay. General technical writer is what we learn, general guides and all, style guides, probably up to basic levels. Okay. And we keep practicing, we keep doing it. But apart from that, anything, Markdown, ASCII doc, GitHub, Bitbucket, technical expertise in languages, knowing some kind of language, working in Agile properly, following it. These things can be called as niche areas, and you can try to explore as many as possible. Try to add them to your profile. There could be many more. Okay. If you have that, you have a better scope. The same applies in the job field also, that if somebody says a technical writer with 5+ years of experience, somebody who has experience in Markdown, GitHub, data, what else is remaining? Good knowledge of API. So somebody who has experience in all these, they suit better. They are called, their resume gets selected. So the same thing applies here. And the more niche area it is, the better you will get paid. Remember that the payment varies here. Okay, in general life also, for jobs also it varies. Here also it varies. So try to own some. Here I'm just providing a list in case if some of you think that technical writing is just about writing technical guides, and release notes, I don't count it as technical guides, so I have left it separately. But I believe most of us who have worked as technical writers, we prepare different kind of technical guides. We always plan for that and release notes. But no, when you come to the freelancing world, and even as a technical writer, if you interact with people in US and Europe, you will find that although the designation is technical writer, they are doing much more than that. Whatever you see in the list here, many people do that also. So when you go to the online platforms, okay, you will find jobs for this also. So just check whether you are ready for this also. Any of these you can pick, and these fall into your category. Okay, these are not different categories. These fall into your category. And of course, being a writer, a good technical writer or a good content writer, you always qualify to be a good for editing, reviewing, and proofreading job. In fact, it may sound very demeaning to you, but you remember you are on a freelancing portal. You are there to earn money. So if proofreading is providing you some good amount and probably you have some spare time, why don't you do that? That's also your skill, right? So out of these, anything you can pick. Any of the terms here are new to you or anybody wants any description, you can go ahead and Google it also, but in case you want. FRS is function requirement specification. There are FRS, there are BRDs, there is proposals. Okay, that people used a lot in the pre-agile era, but still many are using it. So all these feel free to contribute. Okay. Generally, now let's just come to the last part, basically where we talk about when you are a freelancer as a technical writer. What if I have to talk about skills, what you need to do? Create a portfolio. Portfolio you can create in any other way you want. Portfolio means a place which is an HTML file, page, or a PDF, a place where clients can go and see your work sample. Work sample can have a variety. Like I saw, I'm not sure if you know that for Tech Writer Strive, we have a course called Docs as Code. There, as a task project, I saw many people have gone and they have created pages which they are using now for profile. Okay, so you can learn that. But creating a profile, an HTML page profile, is really good because it gives direct access to the customers. Okay. Portals like Upwork, www.upwork.com is there, fiverr.com is there. If you are not there, just go ahead and create your profile, update the details in the best possible way. Okay, in the upwork.com and all, they will always ask how much money you want to, the base rate you have to set. It's not, the base rate doesn't mean that whenever you will bid, that base rate will apply. So I would rather say to start with, go with $15 per hour. If you want, you can go for more because they have their own commission, like 20% they charge. Okay, so $15 in your pocket, you get $12 per hour. So you can take a call, go ahead, but do create a profile at places like Upwork and Fiverr. This really helps a lot. Even and use the proper hashtags for yourself. Okay, then for your freelancing life cycle, how you are going to be following it, the complete discipline factor and the planning factor I talked about, maintain a schedule. Irrespective, maintain a schedule and get into the habit of following that schedule. Unless you are dedicated, forget about being successful. Yes, one or two projects you may get, but no, if you want to become a successful one where probably your earnings could touch, who knows, 5 lakhs per month, 10 lakhs per month, it is possible. Okay, let me tell you, it is possible, it is happening. Salaries, I mean, your income going way beyond 1 lakh per month through freelancing is easily possible, but there are a lot of things required from you. Now, when dealing with clients, before accepting a project, first, yes, you get it very clear that, okay, what is the project about? What you need to do? But make the payment process very clear. Don't be shy about it. This is one thing I have always seen, even we Indians are very shy of talking about payment when we negotiate for salary also for a job. I don't know why. Okay. Never be shy about that. And at least in the freelancing world, never be shy about it. Ask whatever you think is suitable. If you get rejected, you will soon realize that you are asking for moon to start with. Let's reduce it. That's also kind of learning. But then, after everything is done, make sure the payment process is clear to you. Okay. This is Malar Vizi Velaram. Your video is on in case you are not aware. Okay. So make the payment process very clear. Payment process clear means what kind of payment mode you are going, online payment, whether this payment is basically hourly payment for you, then monthly payment, project-based payment, basically one project will complete, then only we will get payment, or in a project you can have separate milestones, one milestone, this much part is completed, one payment part will come. So whatever it is, make it very clear, and based on that you also follow it, and the client will also have to follow it. If the client is not following, make sure you stop the work. Don't work where you think payment is in danger. And here, when I say payment is in danger, it can happen with big clients also. Okay, so that is where, and be very clear, follow a routine. Then for payments, you can give the invoice also. Give them the invoice. If you are already on a pay portal, freelancing portal, you don't need to raise an invoice. That's all done, taken care of. But if you're handling them separately, always create an invoice. The invoice template you can get on Google, a lot of invoice templates. Yes, Amrita.
Sorry, I was just wondering, do you think it is a good idea to ask for an advance payment? Say like suppose 5%, 10%, or whatever you're charging. Does that make sense, or does that become a bit too cheap?
No, it does make sense for a big project. Okay, for a big project, it does make sense. For example, if the client says that, okay, I will pay you after the project. Now, that project you are working for 1 month, and probably overall the bill is going to be something huge. Okay. And if the deal is that, okay, I will pay you after the project, who knows? Unless you are on a good freelancing platform, probably as individuals, there could be some issues. So you can always ask for it.
Okay. Yeah,
People do ask for it.
Okay.
Some people do ask.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure. So working on a freelance project, basically keep the timelines transparent from your side, from client side. Start working on project only when the timelines are clear, every expectation is clear, payment part is clear. Start working then only. Don't take chances, even on a platform, freelancing platform. When everything is clear, get on a call. You can always get on a call. Okay, ask them when you see that, okay, sir, things are getting clear, get on a call to understand the requirement and all, so that you also tell them, okay, these things, I will write 3 guides for you. For example, I will write 3 guides for you. That's all. Beyond that, anything is coming up. If you are going by hourly rate, fine. But if you are going by project milestone rate, the moment client after 15 days says, hey, we want one more guide. Okay, that's the next project milestone. Calculate it separately. So make all those things very clear, and clients are also very clear. The clients will be, if some client is trying to hide the things, okay, we will discuss about it later. Just realize there is going to be a trouble. Forget about it. Don't try to work for clients with whom you realize that payment will be an issue, because there is no use doing that. Okay. And the last point I will again emphasize, as a freelancer, whether you're working as an individual or as a company, you can run your own company also, right? So please be very clear about your routine. Make sure you have the right means on your mobile, the access to your emails or messages, whatever you're following, so that like a general WhatsApp message, right? In India, we have WhatsApp so popular that we use, even I use. We try to respond ASAP, even to the forwards. If you want to be a good freelancer as an individual or as a company, make sure all these responses from your end, it should go ASAP. 24 hours and 48 hours, it's not a good timeline. Okay, and especially more when you are asking for a project. Okay, payment schedule. In payment schedule, one more thing I would like to say. Remember, we talked like as a freelancer, your PF, any health insurance, anything is not getting deducted. Even that, like in Upwork, I said there is 20%. That's their commission. That's not your tax. Remember. So after tax, if you're charging $20, they charged how much? 20%. So you get $16 per hour. Based on that, whatever calculation you have, that money will be transferred to your account. That money has not been taxed. Remember that. So you will have to manage your tax. And then when you will go to the government portal, you will see that people like those who are working as a freelancer, they are being marked as self-employed individuals. See the rules. Make sure you follow the rules for tax payment, because you never know when you will land in trouble if you're not following it. Second part is, even in freelancing, money, since it's a global world right now, so your money may come from directly in dollars, pounds, or whatever also. So if you are accessing, having that international transaction directly into your account, see what are the rules and what extra do you need to do that. Okay. So these are few things basically we at times miss. So we have to be, it's not only about earning, it's about saving ourselves from the government's web also, so that we don't go and do anything wrong. Otherwise, at some stage, we might end up paying much more than what we have ever, earned. So better to be safe. So that's all from my end. I'm very sorry. It's almost 15 minutes delayed. Right now, we open for questions if you have any.
Puneet, I had one question here. So when we are moving from a full-time to a freelance opportunity, in fact, I did that a couple of years back, and then I had to move back into the job front once more, obviously because of some mistakes I've made. But I was just wondering, what would you suggest should be a minimum financial backup we should have, to sustain the number of months or probably years. I mean, years would be too long, but so sustain the problem, significant number of months before we actually start making up, as much as we would do in a full-time job.
That's a very good question, Mita. And in fact, I also did the same because we have to think about. I mean, just because we want to be freelancer doesn't mean that our responsibilities fly away. Right?
Correct.
So first, I have to what I did. I can tell you, just see if that suits. So what I did, I checked my monthly calculation. Okay. Monthly expenses of myself, family, or whatever we do. Okay. And based on that, I realized, so say, for example, I estimated that every month from home loans, this loan, that loan, the expenses, I have an expense of around 1 lakh. Okay. For example. Now, 1 lakh, then my bank balance shows 10 lakhs. So actually, this 1 lakh expense, based on that, I can sustain for 10 months. So I took a decision that, okay, I calculated for 1 year, but I think calculating for 6 months with some buffer. So if I say 1 lakh was my income, I would at least calculate for 1.5 lakh. So at least I would say 9 lakhs for 6 months. 6 months is a really good time. You will know very well whether you are going to succeed or not. Okay. And other thing is, when you are jumping into this, then of course, you are not jumping for the first time. You must have done some work as a freelancer before, even when you are working on job, right?
Right.
So some base is already set. So you basically are able to make a call that at what point of time now I can completely leave the job and get into this, because you will see your clients, your growing market. Okay, so that calculation is there. And of course, 6 months minimum I would recommend. I think 6 months is a good time to decide, unless you're opening a business. Now, this is, I'm talking about individual freelancers. But if you are trying to make it a business as a company, then probably more than 1 year, at least 1 year balance should be there, because the company takes time to get profit.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Puneet.
Sure.
That was a big help. Yeah.
Punit, I have a question. When you get into the portals like freelancers.com, Upwork, or Fiverr, is there any approval process there? Because I haven't done this before. I learned from somebody that in Elance that was there some time back, they had this approval process. So I just want to know if there's anything or any approval process and what we need to do for that.
On which side did you mention approval process?
That was way back 10 years back in Elance.
Oh, Elance. Okay.
Yeah.
No, these days, at least like personally, I use Upwork regularly. That's my primary source. Second one is Fiverr. Upwork is giving me so much that I don't need to check actually Fiverr, so I don't bid there. Third was freelancer.com, which I heard long time back. I made an account. I never went back there. Okay. So there is no approval process I have come across.
Sure.
All this
Thanks.
need is, like even in Upwork, it will need your identification, so a photograph, some kind of document like PAN card or Aadhaar card, and then because they will pay you back to your bank account, right? So they will need that bank approval and also. It's not approval, it's just basic authentication.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks, Punit.
Okay, any other question? Which tools are required to start as a freelancer? There is nothing about tool, Pravi. At least when we talk about writing, there is nothing about tool. In writing, tools are not at all important. Yes, but like I said, skills mentioned. So when you go to the sites, or even when you think about as a content writer or as a freelance, as a technical writer, you will be knowing that which skills are required. Now, in that skills, of course, as a writer, you need to write. So for that writing part, generally in the technical in the technical writing field, what I have seen, even if you provide Google documents in Google Docs, MS Word, they are happy because they are also not investing in big tools. They will use Atlassian Group. I have worked with companies, with European companies. They have used complete set of Atlassian products. Okay, Bitbucket. Then they have used even for image making, Atlassian set they have used. Okay, so the tools they will be having some, and you need to know those tools. Otherwise, there is no demand in general. Yes, there will be some requirements where they might ask for tools so that they can provide you. But otherwise, we can't name that. Okay, there's the basic tools at least you should be aware of. And the more you are aware, again it gets into niche areas. Okay, the more you are aware, the better it is for you. Hope that answers.
Yeah, thank you for that. Only one last question over there. So they'll provide the tools also. Access
they
and
will provide if it is a licensed tool required, they will always provide. You as a writer don't need to have any licensed tool. But remember, access to Google Docs, access to MS Word is considered basic. For that, don't expect license from them.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So like if they want you to work on Confluence, they will provide you the license. Okay, is any other question? Otherwise, we see tata bye-byes. Fine. If there are any other question, feel free to ask me separately and or in the group.